Hey everybody, it is LSID932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. We did such a wonderful show last week covering 3 episodes. So we are so happy to
Yay!
have actually Aubrey here with us today. Hey Aubrey.
Okay,
Aubrey,
my sound system. I think I just got a break. Say that again, please.
I said it was wonderful having you last week. Thanks for joining us again this week.
Yes. We did really well. I'm thankful to you for being our fearless leader. We did really well, and I'm glad to be back on your channel again for this week for the fourth episode recap.
Yes, we are covering somebody's son, y'all. Somebody's son. This is because the folks, my subscribers, were pushing for weeks to tell me, hey. And after the third week, I caved. After the third week, I caved. And it has been a delight. So that's why I kind of listen to the people. I try to listen to the people because they have not steered me wrong at all so far. So I see we do have Debbie here. Samantha did tell us that she was not able to join us today, but she will definitely, I guess, be in the replay crew. But what are your first thoughts, Aubrey, while everybody comes in and starts joining us? What were your thoughts of episode 4?
I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed the witty repartee of our young Miss Chatty Cathy, also known as Bravon. I got a few ideas on that chattiness, but I enjoyed her. I think my take was she was being herself. Um, I think that the conversation that took place between Chad and his mom, that was very good, very enlightening, and I really like this cast. I think that's what I can say. What about you?
Yeah, I do like the cast. I do. There's, for all intents and purposes, it's not like like popping off or anything too wild happening. It is just at a great pace. Hey D Brown, thank you. You're at work. We're going to help you, I guess, finish out your work day. But thank you for popping in and out. Yeah, it's a very calm cast. They do give us a lot of topics to cover. I'm very delighted with that because I'm also having conversations with my own son. I have 2 sons, with my own sons about this, and they definitely do not want me involved in their dating escapades.
Mm. Okay.
But let's start how they started. Again, this week we had 2 of the 3 mother son duos. We have Chad and Katina this week, and James and Charlize, his mom. So let's start how they started. It's the ones we ended with last week. So let's start with Chad and Katina. And if y'all notice, I have Miranda's name there, but Miranda's a very light shade because she has been voted off. But for some reason, something told me the ones that are voted off, keep them in a light color because of make them see through. Because something's nagging me that some people may spin the block and come back.
Ooh,
I don't know why.
sounds like you got some inside info, but okay.
I don't, but something is just telling me don't count people completely out, but at least it'll also remind me who was there before. So we have
Yes.
Chad and Katina, and Chad, I did apologize last week. There are 2 D's now in under your photo. What we started off with the ladies making breakfast with Katina. And Chad is mad at his mama because she sent Miranda home. And
Right.
they had a debate about grits.
About grits. I always think this is quite comical when people talk about putting sugar in grits. I just no, I guess it's the savory sweet debate on grits, but I feel like grits are only good if they have butter and a little bit of salt in them. Just a little bit of salt. Mm-mm. The sugar, no. It's not oatmeal. This is not oatmeal.
Well, I have a mentor that told me if you don't eat it, you should not cook it. and I don't eat it. Okay, I don't eat grits. It is not a staple. I was not raised on grits at all.
Yeah, more of a southern thing, I believe.
Right. Even though I am in the South, I'm not of the South. You know, my roots are West Indian, and we didn't do grits. Now, my mother, she came to this country and loved grits. You know, so it it varies by different people. But yes, I don't partake of the grits. I'm the substitution person. Oh, grits is on. Can I what can I substitute that for?
But I mean, have you tried them a couple, 2, 3 times without the sugar? Have you ever tried grits? That's my question for you, and for our viewers too. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, you guys make sure you hit that like button, like, share, 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 subscribe, subscribe.
Right, and as Aubrey just said, let us know how you prefer your grits, or if you're like D Brown and I, you don't eat grits. You know, um, it for me, I'm a texture eater, and one of my sons is like that. I don't do oatmeal. I don't do certain textures. So
Ah,
if
okay.
I'm doing a soup, it's got to be like a smooth soup. So I think grits for me, girl, it is
It's
all
the
kinds of
texture, huh?
particulars. Yes, it's particulars.
And I
It
don't
is
know.
weird.
I'm not a person that eats grits like by no means every week or every day. I guess I look at them as a treat when I do have them, but I do like grits. Like I said, I like mine savory with the butter and a little salt. I'm not going to put sugar in them by any stretch of the imagination. I want to eat them with some bacon and some meat. Oh, they were making on this episode, they were making the French toast. What did you think about the French toast? Do you eat French toast?
Oh yes, we do a wicked French toast, and that's what my children. We have some Texas toast downstairs. That's what we may be doing tomorrow. Because
Mm,
I took the day off. I have a graduating senior, and he has an honors program tomorrow, so I took the days off. So I
good.
may just celebrate with doing French toast. We have some Texas toast downstairs. I'll definitely do that. I would definitely be hooking up with the French toast.
Okay.
And I have a
Okay.
waffle iron. I do everything else but the grits.
Okay, okay. Yeah, the girls, who was it? I think that was Jasmine that said it depends on the day. So, I guess she kind of varies about what she likes in her grits. And Mama said, you know what, you can exit stage left. Of course, she was joking, and they all had a good chuckle about it. I liked the repartee and the friendship between the mother and the girls. I did like that this episode.
Well, Mama cleared that up for me. One of my questions from our first recap of this, she said it was like hanging out with her girls. So we know Miss Katina has daughters. Okay. Remember, I
Yes,
questioned, did she go on to have children? Did she go on to raise children, in a household continuously while Chad was going back and forth with his dad? So now she's answered that she has daughters. What did
yes.
you think about that revelation?
I was shocked because for some reason I kind of pictured him being the only child, but maybe what I was getting the vibe is that he may be the only child with his father, with her and his father, right? So not saying that his
Right.
father didn't remarry and have more children with the second wife or whatever, but yeah, he's that the only child between these two parents. So I was a little surprised.
And it seems like he's the eldest. And if he only has sisters, again, we don't know if he only has sisters too, it does explain a lot to me about Chad.
Like what, for example?
For example, it's like the array of ladies, I think one Chad, apart from the other gentleman, I see Chad as constantly observing and knowing ahead of time how to behave around the ladies. I haven't had a moment ever with Chad in seeing him interact with the ladies of, ooh, you shouldn't do that. Ooh, she might think that is a little bit off. Chad seems to be very observant. He seems to
Hmm.
be very even keel, and he kind of like knows what, or maybe he's just patiently waiting for the woman to do. But no, he takes a lot of charge, but he just doesn't do anything that sets off my alarm bells as far as his interaction with the ladies. And I'm wondering if it's because he's the older brother, he has younger sisters, he had to look out for them. He also has a very strong mother. There's something there. I'm seeing with Chad, but I can't put my finger on it.
Okay, yeah, like he's more maybe more sensitive to a woman's point of view. Maybe could that possibly be it?
Possibly, and I'm not going to, canonize him, but he's
Okay.
still a partier. He's still a partier. He still would have liked Miranda to stay there. And he is my top candidate for the one that had the lady break the rules, because he already had somebody kind of breaking the rules today in
Mm.
this episode.
Mm.
So I found it very odd. Chad didn't have breakfast with them. The ladies are cooking all this. Did he go and eat by himself? What are we doing? What
Yeah,
are we doing?
I know. I thought that was interesting too because at first I was looking at the fact that he was out in the pool floating around on the float and the women were doing all the work. But then I thought about it and I said, well, perhaps this is the mother's way of getting to know the young ladies because she already knows her son. So, um, you know, that could very
Right.
well be.
And she does share with us, Miss Katina said that her son and her do not talk about dating. He is closed off. They talk
Hmm.
about business, work, and his goals. And she hopes that this would allow him to come to her and value her opinion. I don't think so, because you just didn't value his opinion on Miranda. What did you think about that with Katina?
I'm sorry. I'm having some internet issues. So could you ask me that question one more time,
No
please?
problem. What did you think about Katina saying that her son and her mainly talk about business, work, goals? He's closed off about his personal life.
I thought that was kind of the norm. I think for even heck, I was going to say just for this generation, even for my generation. I don't think particularly with male children, I don't think they get their parents involved. They don't introduce necessarily the young ladies to the parents until it gets to a more serious level. And just dating in general, well, we know dating in general is kind of more of a hookup culture right about now for a lot
But
of
to me,
people,
that's
not
also
everyone.
wasting time. I think that's wasting time, because sometimes, mama can see stuff early on before you get too serious, and the person, becomes your stage 5 clinger.
Mm. Yes and no, because how old is Chad? And is he really looking for long term relationship?
He's 30. He and James are the eldest two
Uh,
of the men.
okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking at 30, it's possible they may be looking for a long term relationship, but then again, it's very possible that they're still players. That's just me. That's just my thought.
Well, very messy players, according to Miss Katina. Miss Katina said Chad is messy. And how would you get him to pick up his clothes all over the place? Chad, your mama telling your business. See, Miss Katina, this is why he keeping you out of the personal stuff.
That's why that's why she's not privy to any of the inside information. Exactly. Exactly. She's showing us why. That's exactly right. I mean, I think she had a very good point. He's messy. She asked the young ladies, was that Jasmine that said basically that, she would say she would kind of use reverse psychology basically to get him, and just talk to him very gently. So I did like that about Jasmine. I think that again, once again, I'm still in a fan of Jasmine for her being so demure.
Yes, I am a fan of Jasmine. Hate to go to Africa. Glad to have you here. Um, here's here's my thing. This group has certainly given us a lot of topics, because the next topic Miss Katina brought up is, do you prefer the bathroom door open or closed?
Which like to threw Paige off kilter because they were still eating breakfast and when they started talking about is he doing number one or number two. I'm like that too, Paige. I don't want to talk about bathroom habits while I'm eating. Like, let's save that for when I'm not eating. That's a little gross. But yeah, that was funny. That was funny. What did you think about that conversation?
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny as all get out. Hey, Riza M. I thought it was really, really, really funny, because, people have this debate, and I'm like, hmm, I don't need to know how you prefer it. It's however myself or my person prefers it. But for me, anything that is a natural occurring thing of the body, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a
Mm.
problem.
But what
Everybody goes to the bathroom. Everybody goes to the bathroom.
everybody does, but I'm saying, but do we want to talk about it while we're eating our French toast and our grits?
I ain't smelling it while I'm eating my grits and French toast.
Okay, you've got a stronger constitution, lady, than I do. I just don't have it to do. I'm sorry. Oh wow! You know what? Can I just take a second to thank my people, Reza M and Miss Iffy, who are subscribers on my channel. Hopefully, you've also subscribed to El Cid 932 today, if not earlier. And I just want to thank you guys, especially for being here as part of my channel and coming over to support both of us. I appreciate that so much.
Yes, thank you guys for being here. We're trying this dynamic duo thing for somebody's son
Mm-hmm.
because we
Mm-hmm.
both are somebody's mother. We are the mother to sons.
Yes, we both are. You know, you with two and me with the one. But yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So since Aubrey doesn't like the whole bathroom talk, and even though we're not eating, Miss Katina does say she enjoys the laughter with the ladies. And
Yeah.
all I put in my notes is, Katina, do not lose sight of the mission. You seem to be
Mm.
having too much fun with these ladies.
I don't think she is. I think she's a mature woman, a seasoned woman, and she can do both things. So I have faith in her.
So I don't know why Miss Katina kept on going here. She asked, would you pass gas in front of your person? I mean, Jasmine is the one who said she'll hold it for 80 years.
Right, right. Again, another point for Jasmine. Even though I don't believe her, I think she would give it a good college try, though.
I don't care. It's a bodily function. I don't care if I have to hear it at all.
You know, my mother. You sound like you're more on the principle of my mother. My mother used to say when I was growing up, she used to say, "There's more room out than in." And
There's no
take
right,
that take that however you'd like to.
and there's no room for secrets between us. Okay, no room for secrets. You shouldn't be sharing that outside of the house more than I know who's living with you in the house. But that's just my point of view. I'm just guess I'm a hippie child in that aspect. But Chad does have a sit down with his mom. He was sad to see Miranda go. I mean, this is the first lady to be gone, and he is still fussing and mussing about it.
Yeah, you know why? You know what? Well, wait a minute. No, he's not the one. I'm sorry. I was about to mix my guys up. Uh, I wonder. Let me just ask this question: who would he have rather replace Miranda for? Then, do you think?
That's what I would have done if I was in Miss Katina's shoes, and I hope they did and edit it out. Well, okay, Chad, who should I have sent home instead? I bet you he
Right?
would have picked Lauren.
You think so, Lauren?
Mm.
Is she the one? Is she the one with the children?
No, she's the one that is older than him a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I can see that. Yeah, maybe perhaps it would have been her. Okay.
Yeah. And then maybe he would have said Paige because he ain't really feeling Paige.
Mm.
But I'm feeling
Oh,
Paige. I'm with Miss Katina. I'm feeling Paige.
I do too. I like Paige. Oh, I wonder what is the holdup in him feeling Paige. What's going on here?
Miss Iffy also said Paige. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Chad,
Mm-hmm.
let's hope it is not colorism. Why he would say Paige? I don't know why Miss Paige is not getting a fair shot. She's an absolutely gorgeous young lady. I would like to know what the blockage is for Chad. Is it that he lost Miranda, or is it that it's just Paige?
Yeah, I want to know more about this. I need to know more. I need to know more. But meanwhile, so who do you think he's feeling that's still there? So it's just Jasmine then. If you're saying he's not feeling Paige and he's not feeling Lauren, and Lauren's older, so basically it's to Jasmine, right?
Exactly, and that's what Miss Katina said. Based on what we learn later on, and what we see him kind of breaking the rules a little bit later. Miss
Mm.
Katina, you gotta get this household. But Miss Katina also said she need to know who was raised in a two-parent household.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of with her on that question. But Chad seemed to really bring it forward and say, but you know what? I was not I was raised in this divided household between my mother and my father. So um I thought that was an interesting dichotomy that he had there, and he admitted it. Um Again, I kind of wonder. I have to wonder: is Miss Katina, is she remarried, or was she remarried as he was growing up? Because it's much later now. But was she remarried? Because when we think about, she said she had girls. Now she wasn't talking about her girlfriends, right? She was talking about her daughters. So
It seems so, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
it seems so. So I'm wondering, was she married and in a long term marriage with someone after Chad's dad? After their marriage ended. I don't know.
Right. That's why we have so many questions for them. But here's my thing. I wonder, he made it seem, his response, because I know all this is edited, his response made it seem like she would eliminate someone who was not. And I think she wants to know, because this may be a symbol of someone who may decide to remain in their marriage and work it out and not have a separated home. But Chad is saying, hey, I grew up, going between states. And here I am wanting it to be my wife, myself, and my kids. So don't use this to discount any of the ladies. He
Right.
told her he told her she was hypocritical. I don't know about you. Even though in that situation my mama is hypocritical, I wouldn't be caught telling my mama she a hypocrite.
Well, no, no. Respect looks so different from generation to generation. I believe I would not have either, and particularly not on national TV. But I think we are now living in an era where people say what they feel, and I'll give you an example of this outside of the show. Have you guys here, have you ever noticed when you go outside that people are wearing t-shirts, sweatshirts, coats, jackets that have all kinds of maybe profanity laced in them, or maybe they're giving you the middle finger, the fu finger. I've been noticing that a lot lately, and I'm surprised by is different generations of people that will wear shirts and jackets and sweatshirts that say things that, maybe 20 years ago we would never dream of saying in public.
Right, you're correct, but I was raised by, my grandfather was born in the 20s, and he always raised me to don't buy a t-shirt or anything with any kind of symbol on it, anything big and bold, because you walk in billboard for someone
Mhm.
and you're not getting paid. So
Mhm.
it was very hard for me, and as I'm older and in supporting, African American designers and stuff, and I wanted someone, and I don't know if anybody knows Dapper Dan. Dapper Dan got a line at the Gap. This is by no means an advertisement, but it's to understand. I bought the hoodie outfit because I wanted to truly celebrate the fact that he got into a major store. But even
Yes.
in wearing that, and it's DAP for Dapper Dan,
Mhm.
I feel some kind of way, because I'm like, I'm walking around advertising Dapper Dan, and my grandfather, he would be rolling over.
Well, like you said, your grandfather was from the generations of the 1920s. And I think, let me say this too. It's probably why I can so much relate to you, because I have parents that were born in that era, right? I always tell people, they say, how is that possible? And I say, but my parents were much older. Everybody doesn't have children as a teenager or 20 or 25 or 30. Some people actually have or adopt children, as I am adopted, in their late 30s or early 40s. So that's that, right? So
Yeah.
but yeah, I understand what your grandfather was saying. I do appreciate though that at least it's not profanity laced. But I say
Right.
all that. Let's get back to the show. I'm saying
Yes.
that as a way of segueing and kind of showing how loosely our each generation tends to get looser and looser and looser. So to me, if you'll say things in public, if you'll wear shirts in public with profanity, think about how that will filter into your life with your parents. You may not necessarily use profanity with your parents, but you're certainly more possibly more loose with your expression of yourself,
Well,
and I, yeah.
here's
Hmm.
why I think Chad did that.
Hmm.
He said as a child he bounced around state to state between parents. He said
Hmm.
he had what he needed with Katina, not what he wanted.
Hmm.
And with mom, he did not have parental guidance. So I'm
Mm.
like, Chad said a lot in his confessionals, and I wonder what Miss Katina thinks after she's now viewing these confessionals. I'm like, is it that he's so vocal because he feels like she wasn't part of the guidance yet? Now here you are, and my 30-year-old trying to guide me to find, a long-term girlfriend, to a wife.
Hmm. You know what? Again, I just as a parent, and I have two adult children, a daughter who just recently got married, and my son who's younger, who's single. Um, it's weird. I think sometimes when you sit down and talk with your adult children, the way they remember events in your home and in your family, so their perception and point of view is going to be different from the parents' point of view and perception, I think.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Exactly that. I do understand that. That's why I said I wonder what her thoughts were as she was watching on Saturday with us,
Hmm.
watching his confessional, because they don't get to see a preview of the show. She doesn't
Right.
know what he said in his confessional. So I
Now,
would be very interested to find out.
who's the mom that was in the chat earlier, well, last week on the show?
It was Katina.
And what did she say exactly to you in this chat?
She said to keep on watching. It was a great analysis, and questions that I had, and that her son is a very private person, but she has
Mm,
always been a part of his life. So,
hmm.
that's what she has said. And he has said that, but in his mind, it hasn't been guidance. It may be, I will give her the benefit of the doubt of, sometimes for a child, they may not see it as guidance. They may see it as being told what to do instead of guided into what to do.
Oh, okay. And then I was just going to say too. I was just about to say, my daughter used to always think that when she was growing up and her brother was growing up, that I would be the one, the mother, the parent to coddle my son, her brother. And that really wasn't the case. But I will say, and I'm not saying this is you, Miss Katina, because I know you're watching. I know you are. Um, I, I would not say that's you, but I do see in a number of Black mothers that they do tend to raise the daughters and coddle the sons. And by that, I'm saying, so rather than what you're saying, that maybe she was directing him or telling him what to do, I'm thinking it was actually the opposite. I'm thinking that she was probably being very demure and making suggestions, and they were so mild that it kind of went over Chad's head. And he
Could
just kind
be.
of, it went in one ear and out the other because for her, she didn't want to be too harsh or she didn't want to be too forceful or whatever.
And could be, because if we're talking about he lived with his dad from 8th grade, so that means he was visiting with her a lot, then she wouldn't be putting too much pressure or screws on him, because I just want to enjoy the time that we
Hmm.
have together. So I could definitely see that, Aubrey. And we push forward to the photo shoot. So everybody's getting a photo shoot, y'all. And
Yes.
Miss Katina said Paige is first. And it seemed awkward, like he was not trying to connect. And she thinks it's because she sent Miranda home. But he said he has to ration out his affection. What did you think about his interaction with Paige?
He just really, like you said, it's when I finally began to see, I don't think he was really into that photo shoot with Paige. Unfortunately, he just wasn't. I don't know why. Um, he just didn't seem to be feeling it, if you will.
I'm with you because, you know, as I said, Paige is a beautiful girl. Like I said last week,
Very.
sometimes,
Hmm.
sometimes the lady you're dating catches strays because of the issues you have with your mother. Now, he may not be seeing Paige clearly because he fixated on the fact that Mama sent Miranda home.
Well, now, but to be fair, if Chad is going to focus on that, why wouldn't he focus on that with all three ladies, Jasmine and Lauren included?
He only gave some kind of instigation with Jasmine. We'll get there. So Lauren was next. She said she's in control. She's very controlling about her image. That screams
Hmm.
to me IG model. I'm sorry.
Right, right.
And then Jasmine. Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead. Go
No, no,
ahead, my Lauren.
I was just gonna say real quick about Lauren. I was gonna say that Lauren was she gave very conservative poses with him. They were cute, they were sweet, but she's like, no, you're not gonna be groping my behind. You're not gonna be doing all that because I got my brand name to think about, and yeah, I can respect it. I mean, if this is what people are doing, you and I are both content creators, so if this is what people are doing, they've got their pages and their TikToks going, and they may have some corporate sponsor that doesn't want to see that kind of shenanigan on their page.
Her image is curated. Is all I said in my head.
Yes, very curated. I agree with you.
And Jasmine is next. She said she was a model in college.
Hmm.
I can see that. But she is the only one he initiated physical contact with.
Well, my take on it is while he had physical contact with her, I saw it as Jasmine. I kind of called it her Jasmine Sasha Fierce came out this episode. Jasmine has been very demure, but because she has experience in modeling, she was very, very comfortable in front of the camera, and she was leaning on him, lying on him, touching his face sensuously, and he got right in there with it. And I think she was given the vibes that it's okay to put your hands on my hip, on my bottom a little bit. She didn't seem to mind. She's got her hands on his inner thigh and she's sitting on his lap, looking him affectionately in his eyes. So I would say that he responded to her initiating the physical touch.
Because he did say that he was surprised that she is usually the quiet one, and now she's more touchy feely and more seem in her element. He was quite surprised, and Miss Katina noticed that he seems to be liking Jasmine a bit more.
Mm, right. Yeah. I think he was feeling Jasmine this episode. And like I said, Jasmine's my girl. I'm team Jasmine. I'm team Jasmine. So we shall see how this plays out.
So backstage, Chad and Katina talk, and he said it's Jasmine first, then Lauren, then Paige for the photo shoot. And Jasmine because of connection, and Katina said yeah, she could see that ranking, but she gonna pick Paige. Paige is great for a first date. He said no, 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 no. And she said who he think he talking to.
Right. Exactly. they're, they're a mess. What's that? Oh, hey, C Jones 79. Hey there. What's up?
She said, hey ladies, y'all channel. Paige is close friends with my daughter, very likable young lady. Thank you, C Jones. Yeah, we like Paige. We don't understand. I think Paige is just catching us straight because Paige is a favorite of his mother, and he gonna go against what Mama said.
Paige is very beautiful. And once I got past last week, I got past the name Paige because I'm sorry, Paige just really takes me all the way back to Married at First Sight with Chris and Paige. I had to get past that, but now that I'm seeing her for her own beauty inside and out, I am enjoying Paige also.
Yeah, she just catching it because he fixated on what he can't have, okay, rather than who's in front of him. And that to me is a clear sign of Chad. It's like Chad Miranda gone. Be done with it. The decision is made. You got to live with it. Okay.
Right.
He is not. He is not wanting this date with Paige, and Mama keep pushing this.
Yeah, she does. She keeps pushing it. So, maybe, so when my kids were younger and they were dating and they were still in high school, whatever like that, The thing I always recognize is to use a little bit of touch of reverse psychology. So, for example, there was a guy that my daughter was liking, and even though I found him to be not on the level that I would want him to be in terms of what he was doing and not doing so well in school and those type of things, I never pushed. Well, no, you can't see him. No, 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 he's banned from the house. I never did that because I felt like the moment I did that, that would be when she really fell in love with them. So you have to be very careful of pushing one way or the other, pushing someone too much towards your child or too much away. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be maybe a little bit more like Switzerland, in my opinion.
Right. That's why Katina said if she gives him who he wants first, then no one else will get a chance. And I thought that was a great thought because he won't be able to grow any of his connection. Because if his, feelings for someone is already grown to like, the fifth line, you need him to see the other people and give them more of an opportunity because he's already attached to people and he ain't even had a first date.
Right.
What did you think about her assessment of the situation?
Like I said, I just think that she's got to maybe stop pushing so much one way or the other and maybe listen a little bit more. And listening is something we're going to talk about in a minute with the other gentleman and his date,
Mm-hmm.
Bravon. Listening is important.
So he's telling his mom what he wants to do, and they're like, you asked me a question, this is what I want to do. I said, how much strength, this is in my notes, how much strength did it take Miss Katina not to check her son on camera? I was checking him for her on my end of the television because I was like, Chad, I could see it on her face. If it wasn't spliced and diced, if this was, the trajectory of the emotions, I saw her just, yeah, we on camera, son. We on camera. What
Yeah,
did you think about that interaction? Because I was hot.
yeah. She did well. She did well to kind of curb her energy there. She did well.
Yeah, she did better than me because her eyes said it. Her eyes gave a little cut, but I would have said something. It's like, oh, don't forget I'm the mama. Okay. She said she doesn't want him to dismiss Paige. And in front of the ladies, Katina said she chose Paige. Chad kept his composure. Jasmine looked confused and she said she's sad. And Chad said first Miranda, now this. They obviously don't see eye to eye.
No, they don't. They really truly don't.
But Chad tells us that he and Jasmine had a talk. Jasmine wants him and doesn't want to share. Now that's why I said we breaking the rules. That's why I said we breaking the rules because we ain't supposed to be having one-on-ones unless Miss Katina says we having one-on-ones. So y'all snuck out by the pool to have conversations. Now her feet are in your lap. What are we doing?
Yeah, getting to know each other. They're trying to get to know each other outside of away from the other young ladies.
And Jasmine, he already knows that you like him because you're still there. Please don't give him the entire glass of water without him saying he thirsty. Okay? Please.
Oh my.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I felt like she was giving him too much. She was giving all her energy and power to him, and I'm like, he already has power through his mom. Just sit there, and you will. If this is for you, it'll happen for you. I felt she was doing a little too much. What were
Hmm.
your thoughts on them?
I don't have much to say about this particular situation with them.
You probably ready for the last ones, but we did not see the date with Paige, but we know Paige was chosen as the winner, and so
Hmm.
we will see Paige's date with Chad next, I guess, next episode if that happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they held that one back for us for the next episode. I want to see that too because I want to see if they have any chemistry and if maybe outside of and away from his mom, maybe he changes his mind and recognizes what a gem he has with Paige. Let's see if that happens.
Yeah, let's see. Because as I said, Paige is catching strays because of his relationship with his mother, the friction with his mother, rather than her doing anything at all to disturb him at all.
Right,
But
right.
I do wish for I wish for him to actually open his eyes and see Paige, as you said. Is there
Yeah.
anything else for Chad, Katina, and the lovely ladies that are still in the house?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I think I'm good with these guys.
Okay. So we're going to go to the next one. James and Charlize, y'all do us a favor on each of our channels. Could you please make sure you have liked the video, you
Yes.
share it with a
Thank you.
friend, leave a comment, and definitely make sure you are subscribed with that notification bell on. Next
Absolutely.
up, next up, James and Charlize. And as you see, Chisholm is in his shadow because she is, whew, she is, been voted out.
She's gone bye
Voted
bye.
out. So this week we find out we start off with Bravon getting the mixology date with James that
Yes.
she won last time. And the date is right outside by the pool, and Mama is looking through the louvers.
Yes, she is. These mothers are so involved with these 30 something men. But you know what? I guess they are, because at this point they're probably wondering, like me, where are the grandchildren? Where, up until recently, where's the marriage? Where's the marriage? Where are the grandbabies? We need grandbabies.
And in order to get the grandbabies, Bravon needs to be quiet and stop talking so much. Okay, she's gonna talk herself out of this date and possible relationship. She needs to ask him at least about himself. You said you had a little bit, of what to tell her because apparently she wasn't nervous. She's just a talker, and he will tune her out.
Yes, yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. Now this is the part I've been waiting for. Bravon, dear, 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 lovely, sweet Bravon. You, my dear, I would really love for you to take a class in the art of language and conversation. And I mean this sincerely, not as a dig, not at all as a dig. I too happen to be a chatty Cathy, so I understand. But I think the thing that saved me in my dating life was that I wasn't a chatty Cathy with men. I understood that men like to hear themselves talk. And then also, you have to collect data when you're dating in the early days. You really have to be collecting that data, finding out what it is about him. Now, while she did ask questions, now I'm going to give her credit where credit is due. Bravon did a good job of asking questions, but I personally felt like it's not going to probably be a good match between James and Bravon, because Bravon, between the laughter and chuckling and laughing so much and being so chatty, I think that for her and James, it's giving James homey vibes. And that's unfortunate, because I actually like Bravon. I think she's very sweet. I want to know more too. Also, let me say this. I want to know more about Bravon. Was the one I found, and correct me, Elsid, if I'm incorrect. Bravon was the young lady who waited till she was 25 to start dating.
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, I think that might be another reason why she is socially the way she is with men. Because had she started dating, or even just talking to men and going out, a friend of mine years ago said that the thing that teenagers were doing back, some years ago, is that, and this is in a very elite, exclusive boarding school type of environment, but what their kids were doing was going out as groups. So, like, let's say three couples, four couples, right? Maybe two couples per car. They would go out bowling or whatever the thing was, a concert or whatever. But that was a way of being safe. That was a way of being safe for the young ladies, so that they had other young ladies to be with, and not have the guy pull something on them, pull some kind of trick, or put anything in their drink. And I'm just wondering, was Bravon, did she ever really do group dating, or what exactly is she really like starchly not do any dating until she was 25, because that's a great big old age to just start dating. When even me, I had a sheltered life and I started dating at 16.
She also said that it's because she had a whole bunch of brothers. I think that was her offensive line. But
Mm,
also, we see that, in a
mm,
preview, that she says, she didn't think she was enough. So it's always like something. For me, I see it as you're trying to fill that space,
mm,
to present yourself as being enough, to always showcase yourself in a great light, to, be, selected, for that person. I think her body language too said it all. Her feet
mm.
were on his chair and his were on his own. If you watch how they were sitting,
Hmm.
if you watch how they were sitting, I
Yes.
was like, you are giving. It's the same thing like Jasmine with Chad. You are giving of yourself over to this man, and he has given you no reciprocity.
Mm. Okay.
Like, let
Okay.
him come to you. You be the flower, and he is the bee. Let him come
I
to
love
you.
that. I love that.
Yes,
What a great
yes.
analogy, the flower and the bee. I love that analogy.
He
Yes.
knows you're there for him. He knows you're there for him.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, and that is another thing though too, because women, you can go with this modern dating generation of, we're all equals and equity, this and inclusion and DEI and whatever. But the reality is that naturally wise, men are hunters. Men are hunters, and they like to hunt, and they like a little bit of game. And by that I don't mean to play anything hurtful or malicious with anyone, but they like a little bit of game, and you got to give a little, and then you got to pull back a little. And like you said, be the flower and let them be the bee. Yes, I agree with that.
Right. Let him show a level of interest. Don't try and it's like you're pushing the vehicle alone. He need to help. He need to come out and help you push. Because the thing is, he knows you're interested in him. Y'all have said it before. You don't want to be seen as a stage five clinger. You don't
Hmm.
want to be seen as you're trying to outshine. You've already outshined. Technically, Bravon, you won this date. You have already
Exactly.
outshined everybody. You need to just sit and relax.
Sit and relax. Sit and relax. And like I said again, too, find out more. Do you, Ravine, you were doing such a good job of asking the questions. Oh, like for instance, I believe it was Bravine and James that actually attend the same church. And
Girl, I thought that was scary for him. I thought he started sweating at that that
it's
statement.
a mega. Here's the thing: they're in Texas. It's a mega church. I was just talking to a gentleman who is from here, who moved to Houston. And by the way, I think some of you know that my family, my mother is from Houston, so I have a lot of family there. I spent time there. It's a big city. It's a big, huge state. There are tons and tons of mega churches where people literally get lost in them. Like if you have 18,000 members and you have to have like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 services, and that's throughout the whole weekend. Like it starts on Friday, you have 3 services on Friday in the sanctuary, and another 4 on Saturday, and another 4 on Sunday. Is no way that you're going to know all the people at your church. You see what I'm saying? There is
I
no
understand. I understand what
possible.
you're saying, but I'm with James. I'm nervous.
He was
You're gonna
sweating.
find out you're gonna find out from me about me by all the church mothers or whatever, and I cannot escape to another church to say I'm going over here because this is my wife's home church. See, she's supposed to be his help, be his escape route too, because he don't want to be a mama's boy, even though he already
Oh,
is.
oh, I see. He'd not be a.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
Okay. All right. You got me on that one, but no, but just saying the fact that she liked the fact that he was in church. He says he's a believer, she's a believer. They're both Christians, and I thought it was interesting. Let me ask you this: what did you think about the conversation related around having premarital sex or relations? Let me excuse me, relations.
Yeah, yeah. They said, they wanted to, what it was important for them to wait until marriage, but they have what fallen short of perfection. Is that what it is? That the saying? Um,
Yeah, something like
for
that,
me,
something along those lines.
you grown, you're consenting adults. Then by all means, for me. I cannot, I can't sign. I can't sign the lease, marriage certificate, without having had a test drive. I'm sorry.
You guys. Oh my Lord. Well, okay, here's my thing. This is what I wanted to know as a fellow believer who has also fallen before. Um, but this is what I wanted to really know in that moment because she seemed like she was so much into her faith and walking according to biblical principles. Here's what I really want to know about both of them, and particularly James. Are they now that they have fallen, because as saints we are sinners who've fallen, but we still get up, right? That means we get up, we rise, we repent, and we go the way God wants us to go. So what I wanted to know for both Yvonne and James, are they now living celibate lives until marriage? This is what I wanted to know. Oh no, by the way, one of these days we're going to have a talk, and you're welcome to come over, El Cid, and I will tell the young ladies how you can know what you're getting into in terms of before marriage in that department. It's very easy to do that without having premarital relations.
Oh yeah, I always say there are many roads to the promised land. That doesn't have to be the only route. Okay.
I got stories for you, ladies. Just keep listening. I got stories for you, but go ahead.
Hey, Lady Tiva, glad to have you listen to the bushes. Yeah,
Lady T-Bug. That's a cute name too. I love that.
she has an amazing channel. She does true crime. She's on one particular case, and it is wonderful being on the front porch on her channel. So if you are definitely one who is into true crime and just what's going on out there,
I
cases and
am
interesting stories,
I
Lady T Buck's channel is where you need to be.
I am indeed. And Lady T Book, I will be over later today to subscribe to your channel. I hope you'll come over to mine and also subscribe because I love true crime. I am really, really into that. So I will definitely be over there. And I don't know, does she do lives on true crime as well?
All the time. She is live usually in the evenings and definitely on the weekends, as well as I said what I said. She also does crime and political talks too. So we have
Mm.
an eclectic group
Oh,
in
wow.
our chat and looking at us. So yes, definitely Lady T Bug, and I
Awesome.
said what I said.
I've got
Check
I've got
out their channels.
I've got two channels to go and follow now. I got two good channels. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for joining us today live. And guys, make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe, share button, dropping El Cid and I comments. We are both in the growing phase of our channel and getting monetized. So it's very important that we get those watch hours and we get the subscribers that are needed. So guys, support, 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 support. Yeah, but Bravon, back to Bravon. I really like Bravon, but I feel like this is just simply a mismatch. It's nothing,
Yeah.
it's nothing that's wrong with Bravon. I love Bravon. I love her bubbliness. I love her that she is chatty, that she is open, and that she has goals. And she seems to also, as well as being young, but she seems to be serious, right? But this is just a mismatch. James is not the one for you, Bravon. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, because James said he can see the vision and the drive with Bree. He mentioned that she talks a lot 3 times. And Mom acknowledged that
Yes.
sometimes he just wants to chill and he won't even talk to her. So how
Mm-mm.
is that going to, flush out as far as that? So he does have a photo shoot. Mom says she don't want no raunchiness, okay? No raunchy photos. But she is in control. And she
No,
starts off first with Sabrinae. Mhm.
yes. Now wait a minute. I want to go back. Charlize is the mom who is uh, uh a biblical teacher. If is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
that's
I
what they
want to.
said. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so she's gonna be probably a little more conservative. I got it. Okay.
Oh, really? Is that what we did with Sabrinae? Was that conservative?
Well, no, I'm saying the mom. I'm not saying Sabrina is conservative. I'm saying the mom. No,
Under Mama's direction,
oh,
Sabrinae put the strawberry in her mouth and fed it to
mhm.
James without hands. Is that conservative?
No, it's not. You're correct. It is not. It's not. It is not at all. So I don't know. What church do these people go to again?
Right. And thank you for correcting me. It is Alicia. She was hating. But let Sabrina have her moment. Oh, it was a little bite. It was a little bite to that statement.
Mm, yeah, it was a little bite. These ladies were going in. I think with James, I don't know if this is the fact that he's such a sweet in my opinion, a baby face. No disrespect, James. I have a James too, by the way. And you guys have baby faces and it's cute and it attracts the ladies. It's just very cute and charming. And he is also an engineer, which is one of my back in my single days of dating. I love to date engineers. I honestly did because I found them to be so intellectual and so interesting. But yeah, the ladies, this one right here, it seems to be the energy between the three women that he's pursuing. They seem to be very competitive. Do you think so?
Very. I see James as, like the Venus flytrap. You don't know that you're in a trap.
Hmm.
I don't know why he has not set off too many bells, but there's something in the back of my head that says, wait for the lever to snap and you're going to be caught in the trap. The baby face to me is the trap. No
Oh,
offense, but the
oh,
the very handsomeness and the intellectual, he knows he has both. He is still tall. I think it's a trap. It's a trap. If anybody has seen the Predators, the movie with the one where they go to the Predators planet, they're like, it's a trap, it's a trap. That's all I hear. that's all I that's all I heard with James. So that whole feeding him the strawberries, mouth to mouth strawberry action, that
hmm.
was a little much because we only met each other just now. I don't know, that whole kissing, mm, bodily fluids getting a little too close. And then he have the
Right.
two other ladies he gotta do photo shoots with. Yeah, Mama, that was a little far for the first time around.
That was a little far for you.
But yeah, they are territorial. Bree says she's territorial, and I'm like, that's not your man, girl. Alicia is like, I don't believe that kiss is real.
Oh my goodness.
But
Yeah.
did you have anything else to say about Sabrina's photo shoot with him?
No, no, I did not. I did not.
So Bravon is next, and she's on the stairs now. What I like, Bravon, every time I see her, I feel like I see a different side to her, and this side screamed to me, like the deacon's wife in the church. Her hair was up.
Hmm.
She looked absolutely like a new person.
She
It
did.
looked gorgeous and elegant this time. They were on the stairs. What did you think about Bravon's photo shoot with him?
I thought it once again. Bravon, you've got to stop laughing so much, and you have such a beautiful smile and beautiful laugh. But I don't know. This is a mismatch. That's all I can think of when I see them. It's a little awkward. He's giving that he feels like she's a homie. It's just not giving romantic at all. It is not like the other two ladies, more so with them, but not with her. Not with her. And I don't really know why on his end. I don't know why that is.
Maybe because she is laughy and so giddy, and he may see it as, not very mature. There's a way to giggle, and it doesn't seem like you're at your sweet 16,
Hmm.
and it may be that's putting him off a little bit, but,
Okay.
you know, it may be trying too hard too. We don't know
Yes.
what it is. We don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but he did say bestie or homie vibes. And I was like, oh, there it goes. She
Yeah.
gone. She's next
When
to
they
go.
ladies, when the guys define you as homies, I said this back this last season of Married at First Sight with MM and Itchy Akichi or whatever his name. I said it when he said on the honeymoon, homie, my homie. I was like, okay, it's over. It's over. She need to pack her bags and go because when a man starts saying homie vibes, that's like was it you that said this? I don't like it when the men now are saying bro. They saying it a lot to the ladies like bro this, bro that in conversation. Don't bro me. Do not bro me. I'm a lady. I'm a woman.
Right. I was saying it in relation to the sons with their moms. Don't call me bro. I ain't your
Hmm.
friend. And that's
But
because again, my
mhm.
my parents my parents were like, I'm not your friend. I'm your parent.
I
Don't
I
don't.
I'm again, like I said, I'm from that era. I told my kids when they were growing up, until you have your own home for me to visit, we can't even possibly begin to be friends. We're parent and child relationship. I'm, maybe a little bit rigid on that, but that's what it was. But yeah,
What
no,
do you think? What did
oh,
you think about the kiss on the forehead?
that's what I was getting ready to ask you. The kiss on the forehead. And it's funny because he has a kiss on the forehead with her, and then what is it, Alicia, at the end of the last one, date come or photo shoot coming up. It was definitely very sweet, like a uncle kissing a niece type of forehead kiss for Bravan. Um, yeah, not a whole lot of chemistry there. And I'm a by the way, I'm a big fan of forehead kisses from a romantic gentleman. I'm a very much a forehead kiss. That means something significant to me, because for me it means that the man values you not only as a romantic partner but also as a friend. But for James, I didn't get that feeling, that vibe.
I'm of the opposite in that I grew up with my uncles kissing the forehead. So anytime a romantic partner would kiss my forehead, it would just about tank my feelings because it was
Oh,
not in a romantic sense. I'm thinking, ooh, I'm putting you in my uncle category. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
yeah, that's
So
interesting. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
so I understand why. Totally understand it. I prefer. Well, I'm not going to say what I prefer because Miss Delcid already knows, and that's all who needs to know. But the I had to catch myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
right.
the forehead gives me something else to me, and it for
Okay.
me it means very platonic.
Mm,
And if you do that, it just yeah, you family now. We ain't going
mm.
there.
Well, like I said, to each their own. Because I've had forehead kisses in the past, and they were again, they were an extension of like uh the
Affection.
passion, the passion that the gentleman felt for me. That was also, he admired me and he adored me as more than just a lover. So that
Mm,
again, that's where I'm coming from it. But I certainly can appreciate and understand what you're saying. If you grew up with your uncles giving you the forehead kisses, then I can see that in that way. I did not grow up with the uncles giving me the forehead kisses, so I didn't relate it to uncles. But I think, here's the
yeah.
thing, I think there's a vibe either way. Here's the thing.
Right.
There's a vibe either way, because just like a hug, so you can say your uncles gave you hugs when you were a kid. Your dad gave you a hug, but the hug from a lover is different than the hug from a friend slash uncle or whatever. That's my
Exactly.
opinion. Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. And D. Brown said, I'm with actually Aubrey. Forehead kiss can signify romance and adoring, in my opinion.
Yes,
I do see
absolutely.
that. I
I
do
like
see
the,
that.
and that's the word. That's exactly the word, to the adoration and admiration. Yes, absolutely. That's how I feel about it. But like I said again, you can feel it in the moment, like anything. If you are, well, at least a sensitive person, right? You feel things, you feel vibrations. So I think you can feel it either way. That if he means it as
Mhm.
platonic, well, what are we doing here in bed then, buddy?
Right. Who is not feeling platonic was Alicia. They were on the couch, and she said, "Ladies, watch and learn." But I felt she was outshining James in this entire scene.
Well, James got to grow those big kahunas, like, like she has. She can't help that. She can't help that James is giving. Now, what's the male version of demure? What's the male version of maybe even introverted? Maybe not demure. Maybe more
Hmm.
introverted. Yeah, James is different. He is an engineer, and this is one of the reasons why I said I like dating engineers. They're not flashy like a lot of men tend to be, right? They're not out
Well,
there trying to they're not
the
necessarily out there trying to be ballers and have that baller type of lifestyle and that baller type of point of view. So I like the introspection and introvertedness of a engineer type fellow. So he is not going to shine like her. Is he supposed to? Is he supposed to be the peacock?
I just felt he's the focal point. He's who they are, I guess, sorry to say it in this way, he's
Ooh,
the trophy.
good
He's
one.
what they're trying to obtain. So I'm like, he should really be, pinnacle. But I rather she outshine the other ladies rather than outshine him in the moment. But the male version of Demure is reserved, is what I looked up, like a
Mm,
reserve.
okay, okay. And I love what to go to Africa said too. I also love subdued or reserved. Yes. Yes. He seems to be very reserved. I agree. I absolutely agree. Um, but he's just not that Peacock kind of guy. Personally, now we're gonna see Peacock probably this next week coming up, right? With
Mm,
our boy the African guy.
Joshua.
Joshua. Yeah, Joshua. Uh Peacock, and some women like that and some women don't. I don't find that attractive personally.
I like to look at it, but it is not for me.
Yeah, it's definitely not for me either. It's definitely not for
But
me either.
as you
No.
mentioned in the preview, we see that Bree talked about she gonna let her man be the man, and he clarified that he is single and it's too early for all that.
Oh yeah, Bree. Yeah, and that's Brevon, right?
Yes,
See,
Brevon.
she's shooting herself in the foot. You cannot claim these men like it's not. What's this thing that everybody's talking about now? This manifestation trend, right? Is not going to work with men. You're not going to be able to manifest, especially if you're telling them that. If you're saying that in earshot of them, if you're telling that to a friend of me who goes back and tells him that, that's just not going to work because it's too much like mommy vibes, I think.
Right, right. Because they say it seems like Brevon is marking her territory. It's too soon for James. She does break down, and that she
Hmm.
says she may not think she's worthy, and that's where she gets a big hug from Miss Shirley's. And we see Joshua and Uma next week, and they talk about who should he have the date with. And Chambriel said she kissed him. What is there to discuss?
It's gonna be a good one this week coming up. It's going to be a good one. Like I said, I'm interested. It's interesting watching Joshua, so I will be watching that. Oh, did we talk about, or are we going to talk about the big brouhaha about Joshua's mother, Auntie Uma, and about
Oh, we could. We could talk about it now if you
okay,
want to. Go
okay.
ahead.
The,
Let me pull them up.
yeah, the peoples, and I'm using this word
The intranet.
yeah, the internet, and I'm using this word intentionally, right? But the peoples, like over on Reddit and thus and such, and over on social media, are saying that Auntie Mama Uma, has perhaps been doing some, allegedly, some skin bleaching. And I said this,
Mm,
I kind of brought this up last week when we talked about her. I said, you know what? I think she possibly could be possibly uh a colorist. And then I
you
said,
clocked her.
yeah, because the face, the skin, and then also what I really I didn't like it is those eyes. When people start wearing the green, blue, gray eyes, and that's not their real eyes, eye color. Mm-mm.
Especially of a particular age for me. That to me was me in college. I wore
Yeah,
colored
yeah,
contacts in college until
yeah,
I
and I
got tired
did.
of it.
I, I'll be
But
I'll I'll be honest. I did do my contact lenses too in my probably in my 20s, somewhere in my 20s. I did because I wore back then. I wore contact lenses anyway, just regular clear contacts, and was shopping, and I think after my eye exam, and the ophthalmologist suggested it, and I went with it, and I actually liked it. I got a lot of attention, for my neighbors were like, "Oh, I never noticed how beautiful your eyes are," and I had to giggle. I did my little demure giggle, but no, I don't like it. Like you said, a woman of a certain age, it's giving that you are trying to be something or
other,
someone other. Yeah, it's giving very
other
much
than
that.
what you are,
And
other than what you are.
and
Hmm.
it, and it also reflects back because I felt it, and this is just a feeling, guys. It's not a fact, but it's just a personal feeling. I felt that Uma did not appreciate Martha when she was there, in part because of her complexion. That's just what I felt. That's what I felt.
I I felt it was the complexion, and I felt it was the, I hate to say it, the deep roots of
Mm.
Africa that was exemplified in all that Martha was, her outfit, her fan. I felt it, but you did clock it. You said it. I was like, I'm not going to put it on her right away. I'm not going to call her, colors right away because she liked Chambriel. So I said, let me put it off. But yes, the streets, the electronic streets out there, they are
Hmm.
talking about Oma and they are dragging her. And one thing they did say, and I had to go back and look. They said, "Look at that! Look at them knuckles." They said, "Go look at them
Mm.
knuckles, and you're gonna see the different colors on the hand." And
Hmm.
I was like, I didn't want to do it. It took me about 24 hours, and I was like, I'm gonna have to do it.
Mm.
Oh yes, I did. I
Yeah.
did see it. I did see it, but
Skin bleaching is
Uma,
very, very. Now let's get real here. The thing about it too, skin bleaching in countries in Africa is very prevalent in some countries, and Nigeria being one of them. Right, Nigeria being one of them. So,
yes,
unfortunately,
it is unfortunate. It's very very unfortunate, and I would like to see what his history of dating. He has totally counted out Lexi, and it's because of her children. He does seem like he did like Martha and he liked Chambriel, but I think he liked Tamaris, but she ain't giving him the time of day since he kissed Chambriel first.
well, yeah, she did say that he's gonna have to rinse out his mouth. He's gonna have to, brush and sanitize. And I'm not mad at her because there's a lot of things out there in them streets. So, not saying anybody has anything, but just still.
Be
But I
cautious.
got I got a feeling that the two of them, Joshua and Tamara, I think they're gonna hit it off.
I think so too. I did what I didn't like about Martha was her overconfidence because of the cultural connection, thinking, okay, y'all can go home, I got this.
Yeah,
That's what I didn't like.
I
That's
agree.
the only part about Martha that I was like, girl, please calm down, calm down. And Joshua, I didn't like that he wanted another hug on the way out. We know that's to, you know,
Hmm.
press the flesh.
Yeah. Oh
We know
yeah.
why you want to hug and touch. But I will, I will celebrate when you are definitely correct. Actually, Aubrey, you clocked Uma
Good
and you
point.
asked if this was colorist, and
Hmm.
you did put it out there.
Yeah, and right to go to Africa. I think that's and also another reason we could add that to as a third reason on our list of why Uma sent Martha home, because she recognized, game recognizes game, and that would have been uncomfortable to have her there, and maybe at some point slip and say something about that, right?
Right, that is correct. That is correct. But I'm Uma, take the contacts out. You're lovely as you are. Come
She
on, Uma.
is. She's very, very attractive, very stylish, very well dressed. She's a character. I like her personality. She's very outgoing, very extroverted. So I would like to see her, minus the contact lenses, but hey,
Right,
she has free choice, and if she wants to wear them, that's fine. But hopefully, she will look beyond just someone's complexion and other things to find out if they're really right for her nephew Joshua.
right. Because Joshua liked him some Martha though. So that is what gave me some hope that Joshua, ain't about, skin tones too much because he certainly discounted Lexi,
Well,
but
well,
he did
let's
like Martha.
well let's say this too. Martha was very confident, like you said, maybe a little bit overly confident, unfortunately for her. But Martha also, one of the things I admired about her is she had the body. Okay,
Oh yes, oh, the
okay.
girl was
Martha
fine.
had the
Martha
body
was
body.
fine.
She
Ooh,
that little tiny waist and that apple bottom. Okay, now,
ooh,
girl, what's your secret? Let's talk. Let's talk offline. Okay,
girl.
I'm trying to get that back, snatch waist. And that's one thing about a lot of Caribbean and African women. Now, my former church member told me one of the things is that she says one of the things that we do that you American women don't tend to do is we do binding after we've had a baby.
Yes,
Binding helps to get those
yes.
muscles and that old physique back, that figure back, that snatch waistline.
That is correct. That is correct. That's what my mother tried with me both times. Yes, they do
Hmm.
that. But Martha gave me the snatch that Martha had of her waist. gave me the foot in the back, pulling the shoelaces together because she was all the way together.
She
Martha
was.
was all the way. Hat is off to her. She came in and she
Mm-hmm.
slayed. The only thing was the attitude and the
Yeah.
personality, and
Yeah.
it was a bit too much
And
for
she's
what
very,
we saw.
for what we saw, right? And you know what the other thing of it is though too, wasn't Martha the youngest of all four ladies? I think she was only 25. So
Yeah, she hit them with that too.
yeah, so some of that I will put off to her the to her youth also. Just like, hey, I'm the it girl. But with time, I think she will refine that. And who's for Martha, she shall have, because Martha will have a husband.
Yes.
I
Oh
believe that.
yes. Oh heck yeah. Oh heck yes. Oh heck yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so
I
apart from the bleaching, we're getting BBLs too. To each his
really.
own, to each her
Ah,
own.
okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm gonna go see what the internet's is saying about that now. Okay.
Yeah, because you definitely have before the internet echoes what you say, because you certainly brought it to us first, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't jumping in quite yet, but I
Hmm.
can definitely see where it is, where you came up with that hypothesis.
Yeah, and that's fair because I don't never want to say anything about anyone. Like all of these people, and I know some people say, well, they chose to be on a reality TV show, so whatever they get, they get. I don't believe that. And I think it's because I've interviewed so many from Ready to Love and Put a Ring on It, that it's these people are real. And there are times when I'm not going to say any names, but there was a season of Ready to Love where I was in close contact with one of the members on the show, and it got so bad. People were saying so many negative things about this person that they had to go offline, and we were very concerned. A lot of us bloggers, we were very concerned about their safety, if you follow what I'm saying without saying it, right?
Right,
So
right,
you got to be
right.
real careful what you're saying about people, because these are real human beings, flesh and blood. They bleed just like we do. They have feelings and all of that. So we can't be just out here just saying any old wild thing about them. At least I'm not going to be the one to do that.
Exactly. And that's why, Aubrey and I do so well together. If you notice our tone, even in talking about this, is very lighthearted. It's very much, on board. We do point out certain behavior traits or something, but we're not attacking the people. And that is something we definitely don't want to do. And that's why on the bottom of the screen is this is an edited show. That's why when I start every live, I'm like, it does not encapsulate the entirety of the people we're talking about. Whatever we're shown is curated for a show to pull out whatever reaction people have. But we like to be lighthearted here. We like to give people benefit of the doubt. I have not interviewed folks on my channel, but I definitely actually Aubrey is has done this. She has the expertise there, and it is disheartening that folks would run with this and not think that there may be another side to them. That's why I say I have questions.
We
I
have
always have
questions.
questions.
Yes, many, many, many questions. So, you looking forward to this week coming up? What do you think we'll see coming up? I know you gave some of the highlights. Do you think this will be the week that someone else will get sent home, for example?
You know what? I hate to say this. We did hear in the preview
Hmm.
that somebody gets sent home for breaking the rules. I wonder if that is Jasmine for having that. What did they call it? A clandestine
Hmm.
meeting
Oh,
with
I hope
Chad.
not.
I
Not my
wonder.
girl. Not my girl, Jasmine. Oh my goodness, not demure
And we
Jasmine.
wonder I'm more concerned about, if not this week, next week, or whenever that week comes, who's creeping between the sheets with one of the gentlemen.
Oh. Mm.
Mm.
I don't know. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. Wouldn't you be? Can I ask you this personally? I mean, you don't have to. Wouldn't you be embarrassed though to be on a national TV show and get caught? Because they got cameras every little where. Like what? Like, mm-mm. I
But you
couldn't.
don't think they're going to show it. You don't think it's like Ready to Love Houston, the resort, which is one of my favorite ones. People didn't
Mm-hmm.
think they're going to show you walking the halls back to somebody's room.
Mm.
I mean,
Hmm.
hey, or you just forget, you get comfortable enough that you forget the cameras are there because you don't think the cameras are in somebody's bedroom.
Yeah, I don't know. That's you. You're probably right. You get so comfortable with it that you do forget. I would be out. My head would be down the whole time afterwards. Like while the show was airing, I'd be like, "No, that wasn't me. That was my twin sister."
What
Yeah,
are
we
you
have.
looking forward to?
I am looking forward to really seeing these guys make an effort and connect. I would love to see, and this may not even happen, but this is just me thinking. I would love to see these gentlemen prepare a meal for the ladies.
Oh, mm,
I would love to. I really would. I would
mm.
love to see them. And if at the very least, if they're not, and I'm not saying everybody's a chef, but if they have some basic skills and if they need help, ask their mother slash auntie to help them in the kitchen. But let the ladies relax. Let them float on the floats in the pool, sit by the pool and drink their cocktails or refreshments, and then have this meal prepared for them to come in and all dine together.
That seems to be a wonderful suggestion. Let him and the mom cook for the house, or him lead, and mom could be his sous chef if he needs one.
Correct.
Definitely something I would look forward to. Other than that, y'all, thank you so much for joining both of us on both of our channels. We know that you have already hit that like button, you have shared, and you have subscribed. Sorry, Chicago girl, that the notification is just hating. But we'll get you next time. Aubrey, let the people know what you are working on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate that so much. And yes, I'm working on Sundays. We're doing live review and recaps of the show, The Never Ever Mets, which is also an own show, comes on every week on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So El Cid has been kind enough to join me on some of the recaps. We also have JR, XTV, or also known as Life is Reality. So I'm doing that, and I'm got plans for a special show of advice that El Cid has given me some ideas about, and I've been like on the internet looking at it, and I said I'm going to bring this to the people of my channel. We People need advice. They need to let us know about who's the a hole and who's not. Okay, so we'll be doing that very soon too on actually Aubrey pod channel. Okay, so thank you.
No problem. Always glad to have you here as y'all are here. We here at LCID 932, we cover Love is Blind. We have pay special attention to the international versions, which we're waiting with bated breath for when Love is Blind France comes out. We know France, Italy, the Netherlands is coming. I am also doing Never Ever Met, as actually Aubrey said, on Sundays on her channel, and on Another Round JS. Also, I have a segment called Unsolicited Advice, where I find people
Ooh,
asking the internet about advice. They want to know, have you been in this situation? How can you help me, relationship and otherwise? And it does get spicy, y'all. From my boyfriend doesn't pick up after himself and doesn't pay the rent, all the way to I don't know if this is normal in intimacy with my partner. So we get real spicy and dicey with unsolicited advice. And that next episode, episode 10, is happening tomorrow, probably around lunchtime for East Coast, West Coast, about I think 2 o'clock tomorrow. So definitely hit the notification on that one so you can know whenever I go live, and I may do some surprises with unsolicited advice. So thank y'all for being here. Thank you again, Aubrey. I'm gonna see you in these panel and internet streets.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'll be there.
And y'all, thank you again for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.